everybody, I'm Rebecca, and it's time for yet another Top 5 Wednesday. Woo! Top 5 Wednesday! Woo! Okay, so today's topic is top 5 books that take place in your country, region, or area. So I decided to go, seeing as I live in Virginia in the US, I decided to go top 5 books that take place in the American South. So let's get started, shall we? With number 5, because I'm counting down, with number 5, I'm going to start out with Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. It is such a classic, takes place in Mississippi, it goes along with Tom Sawyer, but I happen to like Huck Finn just a little bit more than Tom Sawyer. And, you know, you read it in high school, but it's one of the ones that, like, it was my favorite one that we read in high school, except for my number 1 pick, which we'll get to in just a second. So, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is number 5 for me this week. Number 4 for me this week is The Divine Secrets of the Ya Sisterhood, because it is just so much fun, and, you know, it takes place in the South, which, again, all of these books do, but it's just such a great story of camaraderie and mother-daughter relationships, and, I mean, the movie's phenomenal as well, but the book is so great. So that comes in at number 4. Number 3 for me this week is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, because although it is a future world, it's Panem, the District 12, where Katniss lives, is technically like West Virginia, which is like where I'm from, so I relate, and I love it. So I'm going with The Hunger Games just to throw everybody for a little bit of a loop. My number 2 pick for this week is The Help, which it's so funny, and it's just like, I read it and I fell in love with it pretty much immediately because it was just so much fun. And the characters are really great. I saw a lot of myself in the main character. I forget her name. It's been a while since I read it, but I just love it. It's The Help, and it's so much, you know, it's just a fun read, and, you know, it's good to go. Which leads me to my number 1 pick for this week for books that take place in the American South, and my number 1 pick is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I love this book. It has been on my top favorite books for some time now, probably since I read it in the 9th grade, which is over a decade ago. I mean, it's such a great classic, and everybody should read this book because it is so good, and it really does portray the American South at that time with the racism and the racial discrimination and how they were still good people despite that. And if you haven't read it, like, go pick it up today. Put everything else aside and read To Kill a Mockingbird, because it will change your life. So, those are my top 5 picks for books that take place in the American South. And yes, there are quite a few other books that I was thinking of. You know, Gone with the Wind was a high contender to go on this list as well, but it got edged out just at the last minute for some of the other books instead. So let me know what you think, whether, you know, some other books that take place in the American South that you really like, or some other books that take place in your region. What are your top picks for this week's Top 5 Wednesday? That's it for me, and I'll see you next time. Top 5 Wednesday, Top 5 Wednesday, Top 5 Wednesday, Top 5 Wednesday.